Hello everyone, I've got some time, you've got some time, we've got some games to cover. This is Crowdfunding Countdown. We're going to take a look at every single board game campaign, finishing up in the next week, and Grimcoven. And Grimcoven, because I forgot. I forgot to talk about it because I did a 5 reasons you shouldn't back on it. And I was like, oh, I already covered that. There's no reason to go back to it. And there wasn't, because it raised $4.2 million. So you probably made up your own mind already. And nothing I could have said would have convinced you otherwise. So there's your coverage. No, I'm just kidding. We'll cover it. We will cover it all. But I have a couple things before we begin. One, I do want to give a shout out, because I kind of feel like I did them dirty in the last video, and I said I would talk about them. Now, to be fair, I also didn't tell you my favorite joke, that it will bring me amazing healing power. This little UTK infrared heating pad. So sometimes people send me emails and they say, hey, will you talk about this curtain rod? We love your YouTube channel. And so UTK sent me that because they know I love heating pads. I can't get enough of heating pads. They sent this to me. They were like, hey, do you want this? And make a full video about it. And I thought maybe I would, but instead, no, you can send it to me because my dad has back issues and I can give it to him. So they gave me this, and it works pretty much exactly like any other heating pad. It's soft, and it's pretty large, and it's like $200 on Amazon. So you know what I'm going to say. It's probably a bit too expensive for what it is, but I'm still appreciative, and if you're in the market for this, well, you can check it out. That is my honest review of the UTK heating pad. You can check them out if you're looking for a heating pad that definitely works and gets mildly hot. Decently hot, but like it didn't burn me through my shirt, which is the secret that I'm interested in. And I think it only ran for like 90 minutes instead of the 2 hours that it said. Is that doing them more dirty? I don't know, but thus I've fulfilled my contractual obligation that wasn't a contract, but just like I try to honor my word. I don't know if I'll be getting any more offers for curtain rods from these people, but I could really use a curtain right now. It's pretty foolish. There is no curtain in this room. So everybody, there are like 4 to 7 people just peeping at me as I was rubbing that heating pad all over my body. I don't know what to tell you. It's a heating pad. It works like every other heating pad that I've tried. And so the fabric was nicer, though. As the official heating pad expert on YouTube, thus is my decree. But for real, the real people who I want to thank before we get into this episode are my newest patrons. Shout out goes to Louise and Cat Birthday. Thank you so much for jumping on board, supporting the channel. It is absolutely incredibly meaningful to me. It really, really is. I am consistently and always blown away by people's support, people's generosity, and you're all like really, really fantastic. I mean it truly, truly. You make it worthwhile. I try to do like 12 videos a month, essentially, on average for Room and Board. And then I do like, 2 over on Rado's channel, and then like 2 to 4 on the Dice Tower, and, around 8 maybe for the World Series of Board Gaming. It's a lot. It's a lot of video production, but I am super committed to Room and Board, and the fact that people donate here at Room and Board, which is the thing that I am the most passionate about. This is what I like to create. This is my own space where I can do what I want and talk about all the heating pads that I desire, because let me tell you, I love them. It's just nice to be able to hang out with you all and really kind of be my authentic self and talk about fun stuff and hopefully provide you all with one single chuckle and maybe some valuable knowledge along the way. Maybe. So I'm just like super appreciative to all my patrons, past, present, and future. You're all awesome. Really appreciate you. And you know who I also appreciate? Everyone who's hit the like button automatically. And if that's not you, what are you doing? Be better, okay? Shame, 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 shame. I know your name. Walter, come on. Did I get one of you? Walter, is that you? Walter, you should know better. Okay, let's get into the week. Let's actually take a look at Grimcoven. I'm not going to look at it that much. It's a new boss battler that Awakened Realms will never post a rulebook of. The things that I think we could look at right now are the stretch goals. We got some alternative minion sculpts. That was probably voted on. Kind of fun. We have a new boss, the Tormentor. a 5th player expansion that you won't use because you would never want to play this game with 5 players. New companion, the adaptive bat. New vampire elite enemy, the doll, the graveyard dragon boss. So 2 more bosses were added, and then I think a couple more bosses were added. I think we got up to like 10 bosses or something like that. I think this standard edition is the way to go. I think you should go watch the 5 reasons you shouldn't back, and the comment about the minis or the standees. I mean, Awakened Realms minis are really gorgeous. Are they worth $70? Honestly, maybe, if you're a painter. But the fact that you can get this for $82 plus shipping, so around $100 Canadian, so that's like 70 US, that feels like a really good deal if you like Awakened Realms stuff. If you like Awakened Realms stuff, if you wanted something in the boss battler genre, if the 5 reasons didn't apply to you. But I really like how Awakened Realms are adding these options into their roster and potentially getting games out that people will play that won't bloat up the shelf as much. I really, really appreciate that aspect of Awakened Realms for sure. And I think this has potential. You know, I don't think it's going to blow me away. I think it's going to just be fine. But I like dice management games. Am I interested in ever purchasing this? Absolutely not. It does not hit the FOMO for me. I know I've got Nemesis Retaliation on the way, and that's going to be all the dice checking goodness I could need or ever want. However, I do think Awakened Realms, they make good, I keep saying they make good stuff, but like, I just like Nemesis. I don't like Tainted Grail, and I wouldn't. Aetherfields is fun. We go through this every time. Awakened Realms is good. I don't know why I'm covering this anymore. I think here's the key with Awakened Realm games. You're going to see a lot of this sort of stuff. The special characters. It's like specially guided by this thing. Special mechanics that we can't unveil to you right now because they're so secret and we don't want to spoil anything. And I found a lot of Awakened Realm stuff to be just like so gorgeous and compelling that people will get excited and will get excited around it. And not a lot of people recognize that the game's not for them until it's too late. So I think just like take that in mind, right? Awakened Realms is one of the biggest sort of culprits for that sort of thing. And yeah, I think this is one where I would wait until the next version. I would wait to see what it actually looks like. Maybe give it a follow. That's my recommendation. Hit follow. Oh, I gotta unfollow. I don't want those notifications. I've already made up my mind. I don't want to get something down the line. But if you're interested, hit the follow. If you can't even commit to the follow, what are you doing? Hit the follow and then see if when the rule book comes, which it probably won't, but when more gameplay information comes, if you get excited or not. When you see the changes that have happened as well, because there's for sure going to be changes. Anyway, that's already done, but I wanted to go back and look at it. And now that I went back and looked at it, I realized I didn't really have that much else to say. So, welcome to the episode. I just am glad you're here. Let's keep moving. Let's move it along. Let's move to this one, which is Cassette Dungeons, a compact roguelike dungeon crawl board game through a realm of metal and madness packed in a cassette tape case. I'm intrigued. I don't quite see how this is roguelike, because you just have 6 different dungeons, like you have 6 different bosses. Roguelike is you continue the same path over and over again, and then you slowly grow in, you slowly add in additional monsters. Maybe they do that as well? Rulebook, yes. It seems pretty simple to me, though. Yeah, I mean, 2 pages, right? You're going to be rolling your dice, and you're going to be assigning these dice. I was expecting that there would be pictures on this. There's not. You roll any of the 4 dice you wish. You leave the dice you don't roll where they are. Each dice you roll can be placed on an enemy die slot, and then you have to deal with them. Each enemy will give you an ability. You got to choose when to use that ability or not. You suffer the penalty above each dice slot, or you keep on rolling. You roll the dice again, try not to die, right? So you're going to roll, push your luck. Well, not really push your luck. You're just going to try to roll and hit the numbers that are out there. You see every monster has a specific numbers that you have to hit. 4+, 4+, right? So there's a range. You're just checking dice, trying to decide what you deal with first, what you loot, how you move forward, and it's only $15. $15 is nice. 21 Canadian shipping is going to be $6 to the US. It seems reasonable if you just like dice checking. You know, just a very simple premise with potentially a fun little theme, nice artwork, and you roll your dice, you see what happens. You keep on moving through in this sort of very small game that's not really roguelike. But you know, yeah, it's all right. It's not really my cup of tea, but I could see people who it would be for. That finishes Wednesday, July 3rd at 12 p.m. Moving along to this one, just quickly, Gamelax Epic 3D Printed Game Library. Game your bookcase. Digital files to store your games in the most user-friendly way with horizontal storage. So this is for any of you who have Calyx cubes out there. Let's see. I think it's just a 3D printed shelf, essentially. You probably 3D print sides, and then you move the shelves up and down in a modular way, and then you can store things with horizontal. Oh no, it comes with a fog machine. Ooh, that's nice. If you have playmats, that's a nice 3D printed. Ooh, that's nice too. Yeah, that's nice. You're losing space, which most people will not have the space for, because you need every little inch of space. But I really like the idea of those. I better not say that too loud. I know people with 3D printers who will friggin' jump at the case. But I like the potential idea of, well, I don't have any Calyxes anymore, so take that. Or not the ones that I store my games, since Renee built those awesome shelves. That's a cool dice tower, though, too. Yeah, I can see a lot of value here, potentially. Worth checking out if you have a 3D printer and you want some neat organizational stuff. I think they seem to have some slick ideas, and I like showing off slick ideas. Organize your card games in a dedicated card drawer. Like, that's a cool concept. If you're playing something more than once. I know none of you would do that, because you're addicts who just buy. Classic Spice Girls reference. But if you want $66 worth of files that you can probably get for free on Thingiverse or something similar, check it out. That finishes also Wednesday the 3rd at 5 p.m. Yeah, let's look at this one. Let's look at this before I gotta go to sleep. This is next up. We've got Unstoppable, a card crafting game by John D. Clare, a roguelike. Oh, here we go again. Momentum deck builder for solo or cooperative play by designer John D. Clare. Combos, Chad carving, card crafting, and epic adventure. Maybe we don't cover it yet. No, I'm excited. I'm quite excited to check this one out. I like Super Theros. No, no, bedtime. Do it tomorrow. Oh, for the sake of the audience, do it tomorrow. For the sake of John D. Clare, do it tomorrow. Okay, here we go. Unstoppable. We are unstoppable. No, we don't need a reason. A card crafting game by John D. Clare. A roguelike momentum deck builder for solo and cooperative play by designer John D. Clare. Combos, card crafting, and epic adventure. Let's see what it's all about, baby. All right, co-op game. Apparently the best deck builder of the year, according to One Stop Co-op Shop. I always like when those quotes happen in January. That makes me really happy. No late pledges. Look at that. Interesting. Probably because it's going to be pretty widely available with Renegade, I would assume. Renegade's a pretty decent publisher. You can get it for $60 plus shipping. Well, we'll have to see if the stretch goals make any sense there, because I imagine in stores would probably be about the same. And it's just the game. There are no expansions. You just get playmats with it. That's the extra stuff. The one thing that sort of stood out in the video is that your boss can level up, and when your boss hits the end of a track, you lose. And so it's a bit different than hit points, although I'm sure that is an end game trigger as well. How to play. Choose one of 4 powerful heroes to play. Pick a boss to battle. Draft and upgrade cards. Confront threats. Level up. Maintain momentum. What's momentum? We're not going to tell you. Defeat the boss before it becomes too dangerous. Oh, come on. Tell me. Okay, thank you. Give me the rule book. Oh, there's a storybook too. Yes, I want a nice story. Tell us a story. It's a pretty big storybook. Are you a junker? Kai asks, pointing at the man's scarf. He nods. Yeah, used to be. Is that how you got this jacket? Kai holds their breath, hoping that he would say no. The last thing they need is a dead-end clue. Nah, someone claiming to be Rue Silver gave it to me. She looked a lot like her. To be honest, it was her. Guess I met a real celebrity then. Why are you looking for her? I'm her sibling. She needs to come back and take the throne. Sweet. Love world building. All right, we've got your character cards and your starting core cards, starting threat cards, which I think you're going to end up flipping over, it seems. Then 100 core cards, upgrade cards that you can slot in to give yourself extra stuff, it seems. Sleeving guide. Like any good card crafting, you need a way to hold them. Choose a boss. Each boss has boss deck. Construct the deck. Threat deck, according to the setups, which is different from the boss deck. Cost, top corner, faction, type. Effects, level, yeah, seems pretty standard. Level, though, the value indicates which core deck the card comes from. Okay. How much damage, how much defense, bonus, and when it's defeated, you get a little bonus, and keyword. And the keywords relate to how you upgrade certain things. Win the game if you defeat the boss. Lose the game if your health is reduced to 0. Lose the game if the danger reaches skull and crossbones. How are you different from Aeon's End? That's what I want to know. I mean, Aeon's End is great, so no horrible thing. The difference is card crafting is what it is. Oh, cool. Every turn, you get to upgrade yourself. A draft phase where you draft a new card, add it to your hand based on the current position of your level discs. So that's where the levels were. You drop the top 3 cards of the deck, you keep 1, take the top card of the threat deck without viewing the threat side, put your chosen core card into the same sleeve. Oh, so I guess that's probably like a countdown clock. To play a card, you have to spend action points equal to its cost. Okay, so the big cost tells you how much you can actually do to use it. So you obviously want to upgrade your lower cost ones because they'll still stay lower cost. And that's how you get your engine cooking. Got one-time cards, repeatable effects that stay out in front. Those are allies, so you exhaust them. So there's a difference between credits and action points. To buy an upgrade, you have to spend credits, so you have to get credits, and then you have to have the action points to activate them later on. When you destroy the threat, they become a card as well, so a little bit of random excitement there, and clean up. Yeah, I think this will be fun. What are the stretch goals, though? Because I'm not quite convinced that this is a good retail back. Oh yeah, and I guess I better keep reading because there's a whole roguelike feature, which, is it real? I don't know. I imagine it's real, but do they just say because you're going through a dungeon? I guess it's characterized by dungeon crawl through, procedurally generated levels, turn-based gameplay, grid-based movement, and permanent death of the player character. So you don't have to unlock stuff. I thought you needed to do unlockable things as a tenant of roguelike. I don't see the grid, though. I think people just like to throw that terminology around. What are the stretch goals so far? 6 ally cards, 6 ally cards, 6 tactic cards, 5 upgrade cards, 1 new character, Rue Silver. Hey, that's who we found. We know the lore. More tactic cards, bonus sleeves to hold the tactic cards, upgrade cards, tactic cards, and another new character. So you get a couple extra characters, but really these are just opening base cards. It doesn't seem like the characters themselves have that. Like the variability comes from their starting deck, essentially. I don't know. What's the shipping at? Shipping is 17 to the US, 22 to not Canada, to the EU area. No, 40 to Canada, right? Like, I don't see how this is worth it. I don't even see how it's worth it at the base level if you live in US and you're just getting the Can't Stop. Maybe if you really love playmats and you know you're going to love this game and you want to have playmats for it, I can see that's potentially the only reason to get it. Although 812 people have gotten it without playmats and only 361 have gotten it with playmats, or 195 or 284. So still, there are less people who have gotten it with playmats, or approximately the same. I guess it's a little bit more. There's like 864-ish versus 812. I just don't see why you get it now. It will be in retail. John D. Clare is a well-known designer. Renegade's a pretty good studio. I think it's going to be in retail. I think you can probably get it cheaper. That would be my bet on this one. I think it looks fun, though. Like, if you like co-op deck builders, I could see me playing this, but I also quite enjoy Aeon's End, and I don't know if this would be able to dethrone Aeon's End, but it would be, have to do with how you upgrade the cards, if that drafting feels fun. I like the ability of, like, drafting constantly and getting the new cards in that way. That seems neat. Yeah, I'm not quite sure about the momentum part of it, but hey, check it out if you're interested. It finishes Wednesday, July 3rd at 5 p.m., Moving along to Clash D-Day Special Edition, the special version of D-Day. Not the ordinary D-Day, but the special D-Day. It's an immersive World War II experience during the D-Day landings in Normandy, 1944. Accessible turn-based tile-laying game for 2 players. You and your opponent will have to fight for every beachhead to win this war. Special 80th commemoration edition of Clash. 80th? Well, that's probably the war. That makes a bit more sense. Is only available during this GameFound campaign. Well, that's what everybody keeps saying. But yeah, let's see. Great, shows me nothing about the game. Completely useless video. And there's a bunch of art. I mean, art's nice. No late pledges available. Again, if you pledge before the end of this campaign, you're 100% certain you'll hold a very unique version of this game. Sure, but do you want to tell me how to play? Maybe that would be better than just saying you're not reprinting it. You're going to have all these different tiles, I guess, that you're all wood. Okay. How to play. Your goal is to conquer the necessary beachheads who are described on the objective card, or that are described on the objective card. Once conquered, you're the winner. Basics of the game, you have 7 beachheads to start from. I guess that's where the arrows are. Start from your own side, so just get to the end. You have 4 action points per round to use. Place 1 unit on a beachhead. Take any last unit and bring it to the front. Withdraw a front unit. 2 units collide, you apply a rock, paper, scissors, so you're just pushing backwards and forward. So okay, so you essentially have 7, it's a lane battler, that's what it is. It's a lane battler where you're pushing tiles forward to try to overcome the enemy, and you have to get to the end first, 3 of them. Tank defeats a soldier. Soldier defeats an anti-tank mine. That makes sense. An anti-tank mine defeats a tank. Attack and remove the lost unit, place it back in stock, move forward, repeat, and be victorious. So you're just playing rock, paper, scissors 7 times at once, slowly. And you can spend $88 on it, or 59 euros. Dang, is the conversion going down? Do I need to cash out of my euros right now? Free cards? Wait, where do the cards come in? You never said cards. Place a unit on a beachhead. Take any last unit, bring it to the front. Just go to the front. This is not computing right now. I hope there's a rule book. Let's go to that. Okay, so you're going for your own objective, so it's not known what you're looking for. That's a bit more exciting. Oh no, as an alternate objective, players may also win the game by being the first to conquer any 3 beachheads. Okay. Oh, and you just have to get it past these. These are the beachheads. One of the 7 beachheads. German side, Allied side. So you just got to get past their defenses. Oh, now the beachheads are the end over here. This is ludicrous. There's a hierarchy of infantry as well, and different things that you can use, different tiles. I don't know. I don't think so. It certainly is not interesting to me, especially because shipping's 19 euros, so it'd be over $100 for this, like, lane battling rock, paper, scissors game. Not my cup of tea, but if you're interested, that also finishes on the 3rd at 6 p.m. The 3rd being Wednesday. Moving along to Ada's Dream, a medium-heavy Euro with Dice Rondel, where players work with Ada Lovelace to build the first mechanical computer. I was thinking about Ada's Library, which is a completely different game. It's a very small 2-player head-to-head game about rearranging books. That's not what this is. It's time to find out all about another Rondel game that I certainly will feel mid about. Sorry, I didn't realize that it wasn't called Rondel. It's called Roundel. I guess that's how they say it in in Britain? I don't know. The Roundel. That classic Roundel. Okay, I think there's something neat here. I think I like the Rondel. Looks like it is activating certain things. Like you get to activate these different mini games if you go to those places. Right, your own, you activate there, you activate whatever. It's cool, you're going to be creating your physical machine, add dice to your dual layer punch board, manipulating the values with addition, subtraction, and multiplication gears. And then 4 action areas. Yeah, travel the UK, give lectures, meet and recruit sponsors, and complete assignments for Ada across 4 different action areas, each with their own objectives and ways to score. Yep, push dice off the Rondel. Move dice around the Rondel, collecting bonuses and pushing out lower value dice to add to your machine. And if you're pushing at the lower value, then that's why you got to wait until later to get all the good ones, the multiplication, because when you multiply them, they will be higher. Upgrade your actions. Advance your research to unlock improved actions, race for track bonuses. Neat. Retail edition, £45, 78 Canadian, or you can get £54, 94 Canadian. That's what everybody's getting, obviously, because it comes with a couple little mini expansions, which you'll probably never play. Or you might. Who knows? Let's look what they say. 50 dice, box full of wood, solo mode, get some deluxe components. Okay, I can download the solo rules, but can I download the main rules? Did I miss that? Nope, here they are. Only 11 pages. Wow, wasn't expecting that. Because it's 22, but even still. On your turn, you have to decide which of the 2 turn types you're going to resolve. A workshop turn or an action turn. Workshop turn is where you tinker in your own little workshop. You take 1 dice from the workshop area of the main board. This big one. Choose a dice from the workshop, move this dice 1 space clockwise. You can spend 1 coal to move it additional spaces. And then the die you move pushes out another die of equal and lower value out of the workshop space, where it ends its movement. The die you will collect on the workshop becomes the active die. Cool. Then you place that in the workshop, and you gain the reward. So you're pushing out dice that's being manipulated up top, and you can get a bunch of stuff. Or then you can also play a partner card from your hand if you've collected it, and If you've collected a certain color of dice, you get to check the column under assignment cards under your player board. So you can see how people are building that out. Number 7, if you've built things up, you can get to do additional effects or additional costs. All right. If the place that you've moved from has no dice, then you refill. Okay, that makes sense. An action turn, you select a die from the store area of your player board. So maybe that's something that you got through workshop. Maybe it's something you got through other means. Doesn't quite matter. Place the active die into the mill area or any empty slot. Complete the matching colored main action as detailed below. I think it looks good. Essentially, I muted myself, but that's going to happen multiple times. Essentially, I think this idea seems cool. I like the dice rondelle idea, but I also have Red Cathedral, which is like $30, and with shipping, this is going to get to be like $120 to get to me in Canada. It's going to be £60 to get to the cheapest place in the UK. And I'm not sure, even with the different action areas, kind of reminds me of the Fifth Estate, the Sixth Realm, one of them, that was on Kickstarter recently with all the different mini games. I like the idea of those mini games, kind of gives me that same vibe as well. I just feel like the competition that's out there and stuff that you can get for cheaper exists. And because of that, it's really hard to justify spending $120 on a themeless Euro that I could probably get another great themeless Euro for half that, right? It makes it a very difficult complication. That being said, I think this does look quite nice. Hopefully the actions here of traveling around and the mini games will feel fun. They seem like they could be. With all those mini games, you want things that combo well, and I like that there's a little tech track that gives you a main action and then an advanced action if you have upgraded that to a significant degree. So yeah, I think it looks cool, but it's just that how do you stand out factor, and I'm not quite sure that Ada's Dream has done that as of yet. But if you're interested in that, it finishes Wednesday, July 3rd at 7:55 p.m. Moving along to Eater. Eater must create the largest group to win. Beware, only odd number groups can survive on the board. Strategize, just a little abstract game that I guess we'll take a look at. Okay, 40 seconds of that video is all it took for me to understand everything about it. If you place a piece that then surrounds 2 pieces, you get to flip that piece over. However, if you don't have an odd numbered group, the number of tiles existing then in that group has to be odd numbered. They all get removed from the board. That seems to be what it is. Create a larger group than your opponent. In this photo, the green player appears to have the upper hand, but he will definitely lose the game at his next turn, because his largest group will be an even-numbered group, even if either move is taken. Well, that seems awful. I think this game seems so incredibly frustrating to me, but maybe it would turn your crank. You get a mini board for 22 Canadian, which feels decent, actually, and I assume, well, okay, it's 33 Canadian. Even still, just like a little, if you add in the shipping. And even still, that's a potential there. You can play on a bigger board, hold a larger group than the enemy at the end of the game. I wish you could just say, I'm not playing, though. The game is over when both players have finished placing their pieces. Okay, so maybe you have a finite amount of pieces and you have to wait until that happens. Seems kind of neat. I mean, it's got 50 backers. They raised 533,000 yen. Is it yen? Looks like it might be yen. And that finishes Wednesday, July 3rd at 10 p.m. Let's move along to this one. Again, a smaller funding goal raised. Misty Valley, a magical expedition for 2 daring explorers, not employers. Yeah, your employer has to go out. Let's see how they survive in the forest. Misty Valley is a fun, light strategy board game for 2 daring explorers. Explore the valley and control its resources to win, and employ the valley population while you're in the process. A whimsical adventure. Let's see how whimsical it whilly whiz. Yeah, I mean, this one looks potentially cute. You're flipping over tiles. You want to control the area around the tiles. So you see how this little fox is controlling both the pond and the tree. And you want to have the most people around it while you're laying tiles down. I just want to know how the tiles get decided, how many of your people you have, and what these sort of asymmetry powers might be. All of which kind of excites me as an additional add to it. And the price is pretty good too. 22, 33 Canadian. Yeah. You can see your controls here, your patrol tiles, which also, when oriented, can give you stuff around certain tiles. You'll want to make sure that these villagers are satisfied by the end of your tile laying. An important thing to do. I mean, I know shipping is going to be like 20 though to make it a $50 game. Rulebook, yes, give it to me. The issue. The English starts on page 10. Important to know. You can choose one of these two main actions. Explore, choose one of the two exposed valley tiles, or the one on top of the unrevealed pile. So there's a bunch of piles. Place it adjacent to another tile. That's it. Oh, and these little footprints get you sort of a combo one in there. So you can do one of them. You can explore, or you can send patrols. Place one of your 3 patrol tiles on the board, rotating as you prefer. Then draw a new tile from your stack to always have 3 in hand. And those are going to be in your hand without revealing them to your opponent. Yeah. So you have a choice. You're seeing, I like this. You're seeing what you're setting up. You know what orientations of tiles you have in your hand. You're trying to create those on the board and get more than your opponents. You can also move your captain, which will add +1 to the number of explorers you have controlling that tile. Or you can use these like little abilities. Oh, I don't know how I did that. Yeah, cute. And then 1 valley tile is worth 2 points. 2 valley tiles of the same resource, 6 points, 12 points. Score as many points as possible. You know what? I didn't expect much from this, and I think it's actually quite nice. €10 to ship to the US, €17 to ship to Canada, like 25. Yeah, it's like 58 to get to me, maybe 60. It's not that nice, but for 33, you know, 40 Canadian. I mean, no, not really. It's just a bunch of little tiles. But I think this could be cute. I actually quite like this one. I'm not sure why it doesn't have more funding, because I think it is probably deserving of that. So if you're interested, that finishes Thursday, July 4th at 4 a.m. Let's move along. Actually, let me check my $1 blacklist before I keep moving, so I'm not giving coverage to anything that doesn't deserve it. Okay, let's check this one out. Operation Barclay is a 2-player game of low-medium complexity about the intelligence war between the Allies and their Abwehr counterparts in the Mediterranean theater 1942 to 1943. Well, the designer's name apparently is Maurice Suckling, which is just a lovely, lovely name. Please, Mr. Suckling was my father. Call me Maurice. How to play in 1 minute? Sure, let's watch that. All right. Kind of neat. You sort of seed the evidence tokens, and then you play a hand of cards, which you may be wanting to win, which you might not be wanting to win, and you bid on who's going to win. If you win the hand, you get those 2 evidences. If you win the bid, you get those 3. And if you have a bunch of symbols, you get a pity one that nobody cares about. Or maybe you do. These represent sort of chokeholds on the board, allows you to target those things. I don't know how you win, though. That's what I want to know. How to play, but not how to win. Put my mute button a little bit more in the range of view. I told you it wouldn't. I told you it would happen again. Yeah, Operation Barclay. I was just finishing it up. I found out what the end game condition is. Essentially, you can see all these patterns. There's hits and misses, and the main place that you're going to intercept has 4 hits in it, and the other place has 3 hits in it, and the other ones don't have that thing. And so it is up to the opposing team to flip over tiles battleship style until they find the 4 and the 3 or can logically deduce what it is. The shipping for this one, for Canada, it was like €17. France, US, €12, along those lines. So for me, it would be like a $60 game to get. Again, not really what I would go for. But I think it is kind of solid. I think if you're interested in this, you could also look at like Watergate, could give you a similar feel of a give and take of anticipating your opponent's movements. But that's more of like a tug of war. And I think this is more just, you know, set collection, not really set collection, but making sets of like runs or pairs to try to get the best result. I think it does look good. I think it looks completely okay. And that finishes at the 4th, July 4th at 11 a.m. Then we're going to move over to Skytear Horde, which I was just talking about for a while, because I know Skytear Horde. I know it decently well because I did a review on it. I played the first version of it, and this is essentially a campaign game of that, but it seems like they're taking the same approach as Aeon's End does with their new content, in that they give you like a little mini campaign in which to experience all the cards, and then at the end you can kind of just, you know, mash all the cards together and do what you want with them. They also have a way to draft your starting deck instead of the pre-selected decks. They always have sort of pre-created decks, because these alliance decks right here, because they synergize with each other, but I guess you can do it in a way that they don't synergize if you start to get good at the game. That could be interesting. When I played the blue humans, I played the green druids, and I played the squishy red ninjas who kept on dying because they have to win really quickly or else they die. It says that it is like a tower defense game. You can get all of the friggin' decks, the 12 alliance decks, which you do not need. They say it's like a trading card game. I disagree. I think it feels more like a tower defense game to me, as you're trying to bust through the enemy as well. You just really like bust. If this is the tower, if that's the tower, you just want to bust through it, right? If that makes any sense. I don't think it feels like Hearthstone, personally, although lots of people have compared it to it, and I think those people didn't have an addiction with Hearthstone like I did. I think it's a fun system. I think it was fine. It was very nice of Skytear Games to send the version that they were going to send me, because I did a review for them. I said I don't really play solo games that much, and so they sent it to a patron of mine, which was nice. So I had a little contest over on Patreon a little while back, and that was cool of them to do. But yeah, this campaign setup, I really like the feel of this. I was intimidated, or I was a little bit worried about how this campaign would feel, but I think it is doing the exact perfect thing for Skytear fans. I really do. I think if you liked the original, adding this in is only going to deepen your experience. It's going to give you that sense of progression. If you want to extend and have like a meteor playthrough or feel a little bit more of progression, you can add in a bunch of different castles, which are your sort of main base. This is what I really like about this idea, this campaign idea. It seems like a very manageable thing if you already like the system. And it's kind of standalone as well. So 50 euro, that's nice. 50 euro, 74.90 Canadian, 75, yeah. It's a lot, it's expensive, but I'm not a solo player, so I don't really know. Returning Players Deluxe. Wow, we know the solo players love their deluxe though. And a new player deluxe, 284. I know that people don't balk at those numbers anymore in board gaming, but I still do. But this campaign seems to be doing everything right. So what I would do is I would go take a look at my review of Skytear Horde. Oh, I wonder if it's on the page. Let's see. Well, this was for monoliths, so it might just be highlighting monoliths. I doubt it's on the page because I was like, yeah, it's good. Oh, look at that. Look, it is on the page. I think I gave it a seal of approval at the end. Let's see what did I say? Be quiet. Shut your dirty mouth. Yeah, I agree with past Chris. I think he's been saying what I've been saying. You know what? You might have known something. I hope I was pointing the wrong direction there, was I? No, idiot. Present Chris didn't go for the joke. The idea, too, that you get to draw a card when you kill a monster and that's like your flow seems cool as well. Seems cool. It is cool. I played it. But yeah, I kind of thought that it would be a good solo experience, and I don't know, sound off in the comments if you're a solo player, especially if you've been watching this for a while, if you got it on my recommendation or anything like that. If you tried it, tell me how much you like it. I would really appreciate knowing and appreciate that feedback. But if you're interested, that finishes, that's 24 in shipping euros, 17 to the EU and the UK. So this is looking to be like $100 for this game for me. Again, it was fun. I'm not really a solo player, and it's not like $100 is a lot for me to spend on something. So I have to really, really be excited and know that I'll play it if I'm going to be contemplating that. I'm not contemplating this because I'm a solo player, but I do think that the mechanics were fun, and I can see the appeal, even though it doesn't appeal to me. So if you're interested in that, that finishes on the 4th of July as well at 1 p.m. We're going to move along to this one, sure. Dying Message 2nd Edition. This is 2nd edition. Oof, it's only getting this much money. Probably not that good. But the killer is disguised as one of the detectives who work together to solve the murders by looking at evidence left by the victim. Let's check this one out. See, it's a social deduction game. Social deduction, hidden roles, try to find the right evidence and vote for the real killer. There's 2 phases, the killing phase, interrogation phase. Killers will open their eyes, flick one of the player's hands, that player becomes the victim. The victim, who is at the last minute, will leave a dying message for everyone to solve the murder. The killers, before leaving the crime scene, will create 2 extra fake evidences. There will be more evidences left during each killing phase, depending upon the number of players and roll cards. Okay. So I imagine it's just very similar to Deception with these clues. During the interrogation phase, players will discuss and vote to eliminate. You know that there's at least one real dying message on the table. They can gather the information on the untouched item. They can choose to skip the vote and enter the killing phase again. So it's just werewolf without a moderator. And everybody has a role, so you can pick cards that sort of get assigned to that role. My worry is that there would be a bunch of different cards that were just a standard to be assigned to a specific role. You know, oh, you have the beauty pageant. So anything with a makeup kit would make you jump. $10 shipping to the US, $11 shipping to Canada. And then it's, what? $31 Canadian. It's like $20 US. So it'd be like $40 for this game. I think that's about how much Deception costs. I don't know. I mean, I don't know, right? Maybe. I wish there was a real rule book. I don't know what you're picking. I don't know how you're picking the evidence. If it's a second edition, there's no excuse to not have a rule book on the page. So I don't know what to tell you. That finishes Friday, July 5th at 8:58 a.m. Next up, we have Port Royal, a miniature skirmish game set in the Sea Rovers Caribbean. I wanted to look at this. I'm not a big mini skirmish guy. I don't feel like I am the best person for that, but, you know, it's raised $150,000, so I might as well take myself a little look-see. Put these peepers to work. My problem with Port Royal... Oh, there's a digital. You just get the rules. Okay. And token and ruler set, terrain building, STLs, and the game mat, PNG, for 50 Canadian dollars. All right. I don't know if we're getting the rules here then. And then the basic, when you don't get minis with them, is still $64 for that. I'll get sent to you. The core box gets you dice in that one. Still no minis for $79. And then the all-in gets you your customizable character sprue for $160, right? Like, I appreciate that there is an effort put in to get other people into the system. I appreciate that they don't want people playing the system for free with their other minis, even though they're saying, hey, get some other minis and play it, but still pay us a bunch. You'll record the results. You'll check to see the fate of the characters. Characters will gain experience. So kind of like a campaign-ish, a legacy-style game of skirmishing. That seems kind of neat. How does it play? Players of Blood and Plunder will be familiar with many of the concepts found in the game. I haven't played it, but, you know, I bet you have. I'm going to assume you have. You've played Blood and Thunder. It was definitely Blood and Plunder, but, you know, I knew you played Thor, Love and Thunder, the card game coming to a church near you. Port Royal features a Igugo activation system. If you go, I go. If I go, you go, go. See, this is why I'm not the right person to review this. And they're still not telling us how to play, really. They're just like, hey, if you know this system, it's kind of similar, but it's a bit different too. Well, that's what I get. You've ruined it for everyone, Port Royal. Those who like mini skirmish games, go check it out and let me know. Please do my job for me. Let me know if it's any good. That finishes July 5th at 11:55 a.m. Atlantic time. Well, I don't know if I've ever seen this before, and that's why I wanted to highlight it. This is a game, Quest, where legends are born, but not a single cent has been raised. 0 updates, 0 comments, 0 FAQ. Welcome to the world of Quest, the RPG we've meticulously developed over the last 15 years. 15 years in development, brimming with content, 60 races, 300 feats, 200 birth signs, 30 classes, 60 unique spells. We aim to create a comprehensive, user-friendly website that will be a hub for all things Quest. I guess no one's backing because they want to make a website, but you visit our Patreon here. Do they have patrons? They don't have patrons either. Well, maybe they do. Maybe they do. I think with Patreon, sometimes you can choose to show how many people are supporting you. You can choose to show what they're supporting you for. I just leave it all out in the open because I'm an honest, open book, and not because I don't care. Well, no, it's really because I don't feel like manipulating you. You should see who supports and for how much, and if you think I am worth your $2, or if you think, you know what, that $2, it's gonna break the bank. That greedy little... I was gonna say a bad word. I guess you can say that on YouTube, but I won't. That greedy little binch. He don't deserve no $2. I totally respect it. So I just thought this was just startling. Startling, $0. Like, they didn't even convince a friend to just chip in something, to chip in $2. Which, hey, I get it. I'm not that convincing either. I just think it's wild that I don't think I've ever seen one that had actually $0, like 0%. So there you go. Let's look at this one. It's a print and play about the elections. For £7, 13, nah. For print and play, no, I'm just not covering it. Yeah, Quest couldn't even get $1. You think you can get £7? I just don't want to talk about any elections. That's what I don't want to do. Sorry. We're moving on to... I'd rather talk about these little penguins, Antarctica's greatest heroes, because I need to escape and put my head in the sand. Not really. I came to the realization that our world is over, that humanity has lost a long, long time ago. Like, we had our chance to win. We had our chance to be like an evolved species, and then we're like, nah, I don't think so. Not for me. But at least, we do have a lovely cartoon representation of a species that we're definitely not going to make go extinct. Pengy Pals, Antarctica's greatest heroes. Become a superhero penguin in this cooperative board game with dice rolling, card play, and combat. And don't forget the fish. How could you? Get ready to roll some dice and kick some villain butt with Pengy and your little Pengy Pals. Choose from your 4 pals. You build your community fish storage. Fish are your most precious resource. Of course, power your abilities, but eat too much and the rest of the colony will starve. I don't know why I think that's funny. It's like, listen, you can power yourself up, but you might doom your entire community to starvation. Are you interested? Feed me! There's like 3 different enemies, the Walrus Gang, the Albatross Alliance. Each villain will present a unique challenge. How do you play? Come on. All right, here's how you play. The leader will roll the dice. So you don't get to roll your own dice. One person gets to roll all of them. Okay. Then the players use the dice, taking 2 actions each. You place them in the ability or the support slot, and you perform the example. So you deal 4 damage. Okay, and whatever you use, the enemy will react. You can get rid of action cards to get fish, to add to the community storage, which somebody could just gobble up all of them. Then you can play an action card from your hand. It looks like you can do both the ability and the support because you have 2 dice, so I don't quite know why the rolling will happen. Oh, okay, and you want to use different dice. The more you use, then you can unlock your superhero. Did I say superhero? Your super hero. Ugh, yuck. That's gross. Nobody wants that. I don't even like the regular one. Yeah, I think I get most of it. Right, you're going to place it there or there, and whatever symbol it is, you get that thing. So you have to choose between each other what symbols to share in the 3 symbols. Probably a good one to play with kids. I doubt there's going to be much interest for me, personally. But I like that there's, it's a good intro, potentially with your kids, to cooperative dice rolling, to variable bosses, and they can start making the decisions of, like, smaller decisions of which symbols to take. Oh, there's 4 symbols. Look at that. There's 4 symbols, depending upon where you're at. It is $39. And then estimated shipping, if you pick up at SaltCon, sweet. I've heard SaltCon is good. I kind of wanted to do a WSPG thing there. Maybe we'll see if they'll bite. Maybe I'll be there. Or Canada's $20. I mean, it's not an $80 game, unfortunately. Or certainly isn't for me. But if you're interested, check it out. Just some light dice rolling. Maybe if you have children, maybe. I don't know. I don't think it's okay. But I'm happy for them that it's funded. Average $65 spent on it. There's the 82 backers there. This says there's 88, none in the deposit section. So it feels like we just have a couple friendly backers to push them over the line, which isn't the greatest way to operate, I don't think. But if you're interested in that finishes Friday, July 5th at 4 p.m. Moving along, I just wanted to flag this because there's the Tainted Grail RPG, which I think was already up on GameFound and is probably still in, this is also interesting to me. Let's look. Oh, I hate this new interface. It's so dumb. Tainted Grail TTRPG, Studio Agate, raised $550, only $550, $550,000 Canadian. Doesn't accept new pledges. It will only accept pledges when the pledge manager is open. Only backers can access the pledge manager. So this project doesn't accept new pledges. Don't worry though. if you wanted, you could get in on a new pledge over here. Which I don't understand. I guess they're just using it to see, to pick up some late backers. I imagine they could have gotten these people if they just opened up the pledge manager, right? Like, it's not like a Tainted Grail fan hasn't heard of GameFound since Awakened Realms pioneered the whole thing. But it's interesting to see how many people are picked up additionally over on Kickstarter. That's why I highlighted this one, just because I thought that was kind of a neat thing to see. An extra $63,000, which is nothing to shake a stick at, mainly because that would be a very big pile of money and somebody would steal it from you while you were busy finding the right stick to shake. Oh, well, this is why. Hey, you can't get access to the pledge manager over on GameFound. Nope, doesn't accept new pledges. Only backers can access the pledge manager. But good thing you can spend $10 now to access the pledge manager. Very convenient if you prefer to be billed later or you only want specific items. What's the book? Yeah, the solo mode 30. Core rulebook was 55. Is there an uptick here or no? I wonder. Core rulebook PDF was €30, so 45 Canadian. Or the standard edition core book 75, €50, so about the same, right? 76. About the same. Anyway, I think that's very funny. So you've got another chance if you want. I guess I'll leave it in the show notes. Let's look at this one. Nawalli, the Aztec card game, 2nd edition. Don't tell Michael Scott about this Aztec Halloween. It's a strategic lane battle game based on Aztec mythology. Become a Nawalli sorcerer, summon Nawals, or Narwhals, I'm assuming, and spells to dominate the arena. Sure, let's take a look. Wanting to create a balanced and skill-based card game based entirely on Aztec mythology. Yeah, it's kind of neat. I agree, it doesn't get as much representation as like Greek, Norse, or Egyptian mythology, despite having just as much depth, complexity, and documentation. Yeah, give me that new theme. I want this friggin' psycho possum god coming to get you. I want the hummingbird duck of death. I want this toad that has that big bulbous throat. Give me that. The Catman. Death. We've got water. We've got dog. And we've got knife. And we've got death. Very balanced. Love this. Tired of pay to win. That you have my heart already, Gonzalo. I could learn in 10 minutes or I could read the rulebook. I'll read the rulebook. It'll take, 56 pages? Are you kidding me? I will learn in 10 minutes. I will be back. No, it's gotta be like a language edition, right? Nope. Nope. Okay. Let's take a quick look, I guess. I can't zoom out. Nah, this is what you're looking at. This is the time. 56 pages is too much. To battle in the arena, players each need 1 guardian, 8 Nawals, and 8 spells. These are drafted with the other players before you battle. The other players? How many people can play this? I assume it's a 2-player. 1 to 4 players. No, it's not. I reject that. You draw a hand of 3 Nawals and 2 spells. They take turns collecting energy to summon their cards into the lanes of the arena and attack their opponent's empty lanes to capture Nawalli gems. Capture all of them to win. Quick battle. Pre-made decks, or you can draft. So you're always going to get energy, and they can summon cards and you can attack the opponent. They draw back up to 3. Yeah. 3 and then 2 spells. At the end of the turn, always draw back up to 5 cards, either Nawals or spells. I like that you can sacrifice cards to give yourself more energy to put powerful things out, and that can really accelerate the pace of everything. But I guess you only got 8 and 8, right? So it's going to be a pretty quick game. 1 Guardian, 8 Nawals, 8 spells. So you're 17 card deck. If you're drawing 5 and then you're burning them a lot, you could run out of cards easy. Yeah, I potentially like that. You can shapeshift into something else. This Jaguar shapeshifted into a knife. Yeah, so if there's no person who you can attack, you just get gems equal to the strength of your attack. So you're trying to bash through each of the lanes so that you have an open lane that you can just keep on attacking to get Nawalli gems. Oh, take Nawalli gems from your opponent if they have any before taking her in the middle. So it's just like a really direct push and pull. That's rude. So you can swap cards as well, shifting things back and forth. Yeah, I think this looks fun. It looks like a nice 2-player head-to-head card game.
So it's just like Duel Monsters.
Well, there's no lane battling in that, is there, Yugi?
So it's just like Duel Monsters.
I guess you can only say one thing. That's true. Yeah, it's $45 though, 62 Canadian, and then shipping is free. If you're in the US, that's nice. Rest of the world, support or free? No. Nawalli 2nd edition, 15. So it'd be $60 total, but 45 and free to the US? That feels pretty good. If you live in the US. If you live anywhere else, no, it doesn't. there's a potential there, right? There's a potential that I wasn't expecting, which is pretty nice. So if you like two-player head-to-head card games, you like that lane battling aspect, I think the art is actually friggin' bomb. That finishes Saturday, July 6th at 10 a.m. Let's keep it moving to Carom Golf. Multiplayer mini golf is back together with a new game, Carom Golf. Get ready to mess around and mess with your opponent's games. Is it just mini golf? Probably. Have I covered this before? I think so, but I wanted to look at it again because it's probably mini golf. Oh yeah, I remember. It's like a pool cue. It's pool cue and you're sort of bouncing it around, so I imagine it's just like a bunch of other stuff. Let's see. I lied. There's no pool cue. It takes all the fun out of mini golf, and you just hop all around. Oh, well, now you know about it, I guess. An unforgettable game night? I doubt that. That finishes Sunday, July 7th at 6:59 p.m. I think that's really all you need to know. Let me know. I really need you to let me know if you felt like my coverage of Carom Golf was wanting. I really need to know if you needed to know more than what this 30-second video tells you as you slowly move your golf ball a little bit of ways. And at this point, you could bump somebody into a pool of water. How sneaky. Let's keep going. Moving along with this, License to Krill, which is a game in a whale plushie. Hot potato, family-friendly game of underwater treasures and Kriller tactics. Just, let's see what Ikakuman has to say. Hot whale. The box is a hungry whale plushie that will eat your cards. I'm surprised that this isn't, like, tearing up the Kickstarter charts right now, just from the gimmick. So you take a card, you do the action, you resolve the linked whale action. Oh, that's down below. You can target any player with the whale, and whale cards cause the whale to retarget players, refill the market, spit back a card, eat one of the target's cards. Yeah, I mean, I think I know exactly how this game will feel. I think you should know exactly how this game should feel as well. I really appreciate the rulebook being right there. Shuffle up all the Krills. Just get the most victory points. Try not to hit each other. Big old take that fest, but it feels better than most because you get a little whale plushie with it. And it's $25, 35 Canadian, and then shipping is $10 to the US. That's pretty good. 23 to Canada. Not as great. $10 to the US, 35 for potential like hot potato card game. I think this one could be good if you have kids. I think that this one might actually be a fun time, just because of the whale that eats your cards. 100% component dependent. This is the deluxified component of your dreams. That finishes July 7th at 8 p.m. Let's keep it moving. We only have 3 more. Oh yes, this is a tabletop role-playing game. I can skip it. We have 2 more. The Pirate Republic, Africa Gambit, swashbuckling board game adventure for 1 to 5 peeps. Eager for pirates, pillage, plunder. That's what the P's and peeps stand for. On the high seas of the Spanish Main and West Africa. All right, Pirate Republic Africa Gambit is an immersive deck-building sandbox adventure game for 1 to 5 players. Set in the early 18th century, players step in the boots of legendary pirate captains to weave their own epic tales by performing daring feats and plundering on the high seas. Based on the original The Pirates Republic, the second standalone edition introduces a wealth of new features, including West African adventurers, a roster of new historical pirates, which I almost thought read plants, inclusion of a Portuguese adversaries, so just different people all over. $79. Let's see. What's in the box? Well, that's what's in the box. 258 cards. What's in the add-ons? You can get a playmat made of paper. It's not made of paper. I have been advised by my lawyers to tell you that it is not made out of paper. But let's look at the gameplay. Draw cards from your pirate deck and plan your turn based upon the tidings effects to resolve the winds favor you. To resolve whether the winds favor you. There you go. That's better than what Odalid said. I meant to put that in the 5 reasons. It was like, are you a sinner? For use evil, pray, include yourself? Something along those lines. 7 actions to choose from. Sail your ship, scout enemies, complete missions, combat, make pirate havens, not heavens. That's a different game that you play at a party. Apparently, I've never been invited. Rest and careen your ship or upgrade your cards to your pirate deck. From your pirate actions, increase swagger and level up your pirate through righteous acts on the high seas. Form companies with fellow pirates to work together. Interesting. Okay, I'll want more information about that. Play the Pirate Republic Africa Gambit using solo rules, or as a group for best scores, as a classic cooperative game. But is it? It's not cooperative, though. I honestly don't know. And that's a very bad thing. Explore coves, sack forts, Each campaign is built specifically for the owner of the game, so that like some things will change, but it's not worrisome if you play it with different people. I do like that, allowing the owner to experience, but not requiring a full group. I think that's very important because realistically, the owner is the only person who's going to commit to it. You can level up your stats. Your crew means how many sailors you can lead. I assume play. Here's the rulebook. Get the most amount of swagger points by the end of the golden age of piracy. You gain swagger from immersive combat against imperialist powers and completing missions on the high seas. So, objectives, you run around, do different things, fight the naval ships. Map separates into 45 territory spaces, each bound by a black line. You can see all those different territories in the ocean or whatever. The territories include water. The water is called a seaway. There are 3 different types of land sites. So you have imperialist held, pirate held, and empty. You can see based upon like the flags. Ownership, you can hold territories to make the area player held. The more territories the player holds, the more powerful effects the player will have during the game. Cool. Your captain cards will be how you captain the ship. You have 2 unique ones. You'll all have crew cards. They're added to your pirate deck. They will aid you and have effects. They remain in play for your entire turn. Okay. Crew cards can be used once per turn to play an elite with an improved effect without paying a reputation token. Yeah, elite cards is how you get powerful. I see their captaining stuff as well. I thought they were like elite crew. Oh, I like the treasure fleets. You use the effect and then you gain the points. But you always get a little point with all your treasure fleets as well. I don't know how much sandbox this is. Seems like you just run around on your ship and shoot people. I wouldn't quite call it a sandbox. You can shoot people who are in the water, or you can shoot people who are on land. But you can't like go gamble. I think in terms of sandbox as having a multiple different effects, like there's a pick up and deliver aspect, there's this aspect, there's that aspect, and here it just feels like a big old map that you're running around and trying to sack whatever you get your grubby little pirate paws on. I don't know. But if you like it, you know, it's 109 Canadian dollars below our estimated costs. USA 25, 26 to Canada. So it's like $150 for this big swashbuckling pirate adventure. That's not enough. I mean, it's not cheap enough for me to want to take a risk on it, but I'm happy it's doing well. I think if you really like the pirate genre, this is a decent sandbox style of game. That finishes Tuesday, July 9th at 12:59 a.m. Moving along, finally, on our last one, we have Trekking the World, the 2nd edition, and the Bucket List expansion. But no, with the lower pledge level, no. Oh, yes, shout out to Ryan for putting out this article, this archived article. Yes, Ryan. Yeah, I'm with you, Taryn. I think Launch Boom is a parasite on the board gaming hobby, and I personally won't support them even indirectly by supporting a company that collaborates with them. I'm with you too. I mean, like, I get there's a little nice BGG discussion with the founder talking about it, but I'm with you. I'm really, really disappointed. God, I'm so disappointed because, you know, it's not a bad campaign page. I just finished looking at it. Really, really disappointed that I don't get to cover it. But that's just what it is. I'm not covering anything that does the pre-pledge. You don't get any free marketing from me, and even if I would have said nice things about your game and your rulebook, really, really disappointing. That's probably why that expansion is $10. Damn, that's really, really disappointing. Well, there you go. Trekking the World did the $1 pre-pledge. If you want to make sure that working with Launch Boom and the $1 the pre-pledge practice, which penalizes people who come to the party late. If you want to make sure that practice dies a horrible death, now you can vote with your wallet. That's what that is. That's just really, really upsetting. Damn. But that's the breaks. Them's the breaks. What can you do? What we can do is do a pick for me and a pick for you. The thing that I think is the most interesting and the thing that I think you'll be the most likely to be happy with. I'm really bummed. I'm really, really bummed because I thought it looked, you know, kind of good. Appreciate they put powered by Launch Boom at the bottom though to make sure that I found it. At least there's that. But let's see. Let's do the crowdfunding grunt down as we see which games are worth your time in grunt form. Yeah. I mean, nah. Yeah. Nah. Who knows? Meh. Weird. Yeah. No. But I wish it was a yes. Yeah. And no, please, oh God, no, oh God, please, no. This is tough. This is tough. Although there were some surprises going back reviewing. The pick for me, the one that I think looks the best, or am the most interested in trying personally, I think I'm going to give it to Misty Valley. I am. Misty Valley, I think you deserve a little shout out. I think this is a simple tile laying game. If you like Carcassonne style games, that a tile layer. It's certainly a better tile layer than other tile layers with dark art, where you're trapped in a desolate, empty evening of sorrow, whatever that game might be. Honestly, could be any dungeon crawler. Like any dungeon crawler could fit into that description. But yeah, Misty Valley, I think looks slick. I think €22 seems fair. The shipping isn't that horrible. What was it? It was like it was 17 to get to Canada, wasn't it? Yeah, it's 10 to the US though. It's not horrible. I think lighter weight people might enjoy it. It seems like a smaller company. It's their first created. I think it's a really good showing, and it's something that like you could pull out, play pretty quickly. Might have some interesting choices with the abilities that are on the tiles. Yeah, that's my pick for me. I like that. And then my pick for you, I don't know if there is a pick for you. I think my pick for you is really tentative because I don't feel good about recommending solo games. I just don't, because I don't feel like I am the target audience, and so I don't know if like my experience is that representative of like a good experience, or I'm looking at it in the right lens. I know games are games, right? I've played thousands of them. I play games, but I think I'm going to give it to Skytear Horde campaigns just because I like the progression that they're moving this system in. I think this seems like a really slick way to move forward. I think you should watch my Skytear Horde review video to make sure it is for you. And I hope that if you get it, you enjoy it. I think I gave this to Zach too. I gave Zach the prototype, and I think he just didn't enjoy it whatsoever, which is worth mentioning, right? I think he did not have fun with it at all, but I enjoyed it. So it's a tentative thing, but I'm giving it the nod because I really think this campaign idea is one that I really like personally. I love it in Aeon's End. I mean, the pick for you should just be Aeon's End, realistically. I think Aeon's End will be better than Skytear and at solo too. But I think I really like the way this campaign idea is put forward, and it seems very easy to implement and has that chance of getting to the table and not like too hard, and so hopefully will be fun. So I'm hopeful for this one for sure, and I was not expecting this to be the pick for you. The other one that was close was maybe Ada's Library. No, I don't think so. Nothing else was really close, honestly. If freaking Launch Boom hadn't screwed that up, maybe we'd have a different story, but we don't. So that's pick for me, pick for you. Yeah, go watch the review. I think I do a good job in explaining the game. I hope I get the joys and the lows decently enough in that older video. And I don't know if it's worth $100 though. That's the thing, right? Like I think you could probably get Aeon's End at your store for cheaper. I don't know. Think about it, but it's not a horrible shout, and so that's why that's the pick for you. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you. I love you endlessly. My bounty is as boundless as the sea. My love as deep. For you all of you. You're the best. I hope you're having a wonderful day. My name is Chris George, and oh God, this is really embarrassing. I don't have a catchphrase. I've forgotten my catchphrase, or I don't have a catchphrase. It's one of them. What a wet blanket to end this episode on, but thanks for being here, and I'll see you Sunday. I got nothing. It's very late. You get to bed, or get to work, or get to eating. Bye.